When I'm anxious myself, I can either be very quiet and to myself. I look visually upset and I'm such an I'm fine person. I just would be like laid and curled up in a ball and I just need to feel like 20 blankets on top of me and like laying there in the quiet. I just like to be alone and then it will kind of like pass, and there's like different ways that I deal with that.
Anxiety and depression on myself looks more like a reserved look. I kind of keep it to myself almost, and if I'm feeling stressed, I'll just listen to music, or I won't really look like I'm doing much.
When I meet with someone who's looking anxious or depressed, they can present in many different ways. Sometimes they're fidgety. Anxiety can be that they have some agitation about them and they can't stop moving. Depression can sometimes look like very slow movements or lack of movement, not making sudden movements, that kind of thing. But the important thing, I think, is that it can look different for everybody. So there's no one right or wrong way that someone would present with anxiety or depression.
You can always find me at the dance studio if I'm feeling anxious.
This is a place where I feel at home.
I think that the aspects of my piece that symbolize how anxiety and depression look are like the sharp, jagged parts of my movement. And when I'm dancing about something such a challenging topic, I try to like really connect with the music, and I feel like the different like sharp movements, like kicking my leg out really sharp and like flexing my feet, I feel like that's how I feel when I'm anxious. Like it feels like sharp, kind of like I'm being like hit, and it feels like big pops in my chest and big hits to my heart, and it's kind of like those big places. And so that's why you see me like moving my arms a lot and flexing my feet and like spinning with my bent leg, because anxiety makes me feel very like broken. I think that it's kind of like this big battle, and that's what I was trying to show through my facials and my different movements and my the texture of my movements. And I feel like that's what I was trying to like channel in my piece.
In my piece, I represent anxiety through a portrait, because anxiety and depression can look like anyone. My piece represents how depression and anxiety can feel, because again, with portraiture, it's up to anybody's interpretation. When I was making it, I wanted to show frustration, because it is really frustrating and it can affect your daily life.
Piano is a really great outlet because whenever you play, you forget everything that's going on and you can really just focus on playing a song, and that is really great for whenever you're stressed or anxious about anything. In my piece, there are a lot of chords that kind of create a feeling of sadness almost, and those chords really represent how anxiety or depression could feel in someone.
My piece symbolizes how anxiety and depression look, pretty much from the sharp corners that it has. I think, especially with anxiety, you don't really know how you're going to feel, or you don't know what's going to happen. It's a lot that gets like caught or congested, almost in your stomach. And I think that follows in depression. I think they kind of go hand in hand. When I was creating it, you can feel that almost like toughness or inability to like express how you're truly feeling. If I'm going through a hard time, sometimes just taking a step back from everything, from life, just being with myself and asking myself, like, what do I actually need right now? I think it's so easy to get caught up in your head with, I should be doing this, or I need to be here, I need to be there. And you don't really realize how quick your mental health can deteriorate.
Taking a minute to breathe, taking a break from everything, just focusing on yourself and self-care.
To get help for myself, I usually talk to my friends, or sometimes I'll play the piano. It's a really great outlet.
The way I like to be supported best is when people are checking in on me, and I think that my best advice I could give anybody is, like, if you think you're checking in enough, check in that one more time, because that one more time could really help somebody out, and that might be like the extra push they need, because for me, I like to keep quiet. I just like to keep it to myself.
Someone suffering from mental illness, I think just being aware and being there, being educated, knowing what to say and what not to say, because there are so many things that can trigger people. And I think just knowing how to best serve that person.
I mean, struggling has many definitions. Sometimes just having a friend there for you.
It might be something more serious where you need to get an adult involved, because sometimes I think as a friend you want to have all the right answers, and obviously if someone is really mentally ill, you're not going to.
Someone can be an ally to someone who's suffering from anxiety or depression in many ways. I think one of the best things I try to do is to not assume what someone's going through. You should really listen and understand what it means for that person and just be there for them.
Whatever they need, I'm there for them. Like if they need to have like a great like existential conversation, I'm there. If they want to just go out for food, if they want me to just hang out with them, I'm always going to be there.
Different things for different people, you know, some people just like a phone call every once in a while, or just like a text, like a hey, how are you? Or just doing like a random act of kindness. People really feel supported, and those little joys in life could help somebody get through the hardest times of their life.
Someone who's struggling with any mental health issue should definitely talk to a trusted adult. You can talk to a friend, talk to someone in your community that can offer you some support. There's so many resources when someone's suffering with a mental health issue. It kind of depends on where you are in the journey. You know, I would always advocate for someone to speak to a trusted adult. Get the help that you need right away. You can talk to a counselor, a teacher. You know, parents are great, and if they can't help you, they'll find someone that can help you. You know, that's one way that people get help. Other ways, people, you know, express themselves through writing, through art, through dance, through music. Maybe that feels really helpful for someone.
Art helps me get through hard times by distracting me. I can focus all of my energy onto something else, onto a painting or a drawing, and really get away from my thoughts, which is really nice.
Just by having something to do, sometimes if you don't always want to be stuck in your head, like thinking the same thoughts. So having something physical that you can just like get away from. And I think for everyone, it's gonna look different. Their art may be cooking, or maybe they want to do a sport. There's something for every mood that you have, and I really love that about art.
Piano is a really great outlet because whenever you play, you forget everything that's going on and you can really just focus on playing a song, and that is really great for whenever you're stressed or anxious about anything.
Art helps me get through an anxious time because dance provides a platform for me to express myself fully. I feel like there's no other sport or activity that I've ever tried that makes me feel like I can reflect myself in some other way, or sport or anything. And whenever I'm feeling anxious or I want to tell a story, I use my body and music to tell that story and let all those emotions out, and it's like this big flood of emotions.